Bueno, esta es la grabación de Felipe Paul. Me la dio en enero del 2006. Era una tarde un poquito fría en el desierto. Él acababa de llegar de trabajar. Estaba viviendo con mi hermana Lucy en el desierto en ese tiempo. Van a notar que fue un poquito difícil mantener a Felipe enfocado en un tema y brincaba bastante, así que espero que lo puedan seguir su historia. También van a escuchar como un poquito más de mitad de la grabación. Me levanté y me metí a la casa a algo, no me acuerdo a qué, y él se despidió de la grabación, aunque le dije que todavía no habíamos acabado. Cuando regresó ya estaba un poquito desesperado por terminar y espero que los sonidos, hay algo que rechina en la grabación, espero que esos sonidos no les moleste mucho. Fue lo que nosotros también oímos. Espero que les guste. Hi everyone, this is Felipe Paul's recording. We got together in January of 2006. It was kind of a chilly evening. He had just gotten home from work. He was living with my sister Lucy in the desert at the time. Philip, it seems to me, had a difficult time staying focused in our conversation, and it was difficult to keep him in one lane. But I think at the end you'll find that once you put it all together, that he gave me a sincere and honest account of how he saw his life. There's a point in the recording where I have to get up and went inside the house. I don't remember why. It was about 3/4 of the way through, and he actually, according to him, quote, signs off. And I told him, no, but we're not done yet. At that point, it was very difficult to keep him focused. So we ended kind of shortly after that. You'll also hear some background noises that are very annoying. Unfortunately, I couldn't remove them. They're like a squeaky chair at some point. So hopefully you can tolerate some of that. I did take some of it out, but it was just too difficult to remove it all.
Hi, my name is Felipe Paul Abreu. This is January 31st, 2006. I'm here with my cousin Pauline Moreno, and I'm just going to chit-chat with her for a while. Any questions she wants to ask me, I'm more than willing to answer. My brother, before I was born, his name is Max Paul Abreu. Then I have a sister. After I was born December 18th, 1962, the same day as my favorite rock and roll star, Keith Richards. My brother was born August the 4th, 1965. My parents are Max Paul Schlotzenberg and Magdalena Paul Abreu. I was born in Guadalajara, Mexico. My earliest memories was when I used to live in Mexico City with my father Max Paul and I remember very much. We lived in Polanco at the time. I think I was about 5 years old at the time, but I remember it very, very clearly. I remember a lot. I remember when one of my uncles, his name is Francisco Abreu, he's the one that probably introduced me to the family with Max, the Max Foundation or whatever you call him.
What do you mean he introduced you?
Because I remember that he used to pick me up at my mom Lulu's house. My mom used to like to party and stuff.
He used to pick you up when you lived in Mexico City with Lulu?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because my uncle worked with my dad too.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really young at the time, but I always wanted to dress like Uncle Chico. I always wanted to be just like Uncle Chico. It was like my favorite. He was like my second dad. Simple as that. Polanco was rad. One scene I do remember was one day my little brother Max was rocking on a chair, and he had my father had like all these type of windows on the back, and he was rocking, and then boom, he fell down, and he was all he got all screwed up. And my dad took him to one thing that we called it down there in Mexico. It's called the Red Cross, la Cruz Roja. And he was crying, and my dad would keep yelling, "Diles que chinguen a su madre," tell him to screw off, tell him to screw off. And every time we passed a gas station, or when he used to hear a siren, he used to cry. That was my brother Ed. I remember that so well. And he used to follow me I also remember a lot another cousin of mine, his name is Pepe Moreno. Sometimes he used to go there and babysit. And the only thing my parents used to tell us, at that time I think he was dating this lady called Carmen. And the only thing my parents used to tell us, don't play soccer inside the house. And as soon as they would leave, that's the first thing we did, Pauline. Remember, I kicked the ball or whatever, and we broke something there. Pepe was all, "Oh my God, Tío Max is coming home. He's going to kick the shit out of us." Our dad was rad. And he put up with all kinds of shit. But I remember that so well. I used to go to a Catholic school there. It was an all-boys school, and I was in love with my teacher. God, she was hot looking. Yeah, and she was I was only like 6, 7 years old maybe at the time. I do remember the guy that used to teach us how to swim was an Olympic guy from Mexico. He wasn't, never won any medals or anything, but those are the type of people my father used to hire to help us with the extracurricular activities, if I could explain that. I also remember my Uncle Pepe, it's my cousin, and my cousin Ana, Pepe and Ana Navarro. Whenever they wanted to go out together, all right, they got screwed because they had to take me, and I always came back with money. If they had it, I always came back with money with them. Those were the rules, man. They can't kiss, they can't do nothing, and I was like the chaperone. And so they used to have to bribe me, which is rad. I mean, because I love Pepe, man. He's always been nice, and he still is. But I do remember those days. I used to cry. I'd love to go out with them. They could never make out. They could never do nothing because Phil was there. But at that time, shit, they'd give me 50 centavos or whatever, or a peso. They gave you a peso, man. You stay quiet 5 days. Cállate. And another thing I do remember very much is that Pepe Moreno, Carmen, Pepe Navarro, and Ana, Abreu, Pepe's wife now, Ana Navarro, they used to fill up the balloons in Polanco, water balloons, all right? And they used to go and throw them at people. Oh, no, they used to hush me up. I became a Jew real quick, I guess. I don't know. I go to him. My dad was a politician. I remember he always had his placas de diplomático. He used to, he was the brain of all this, you could say, not cartel or mafia or whatever, but he used to work with Gomezeta, a very powerful man that, ruled the railroads forever. Right? They helped a lot of people, a lot of poor people, I remember that, and I used to go a sus despachos every day. I used to go in, every day I wore brand new clothes. That's why it's so hard for me right now. I mean, every day, and suits and this and that. And I also remember Jorge Rodriguez and a lot of the people that we used to work with my dad. And when I met Ed, todo mocoso, todo das, and this is your brother, and that's the way it's going to work. I remember you, Pauline, when you used to stay there, and I used to wear your underwears.
No, I used to wear your underwear. Maybe we used to trade.
Yeah,
because I loved boys' underwear.
I used to love the ones that had the little pictures.
Oh, wait, because I loved the ones with the fly.
All right.
Because I loved to wear
underwear. I remember it. And then I also remember one day when I was at my dad's, and we used to party in my dad's room, and he had heart problems and stuff. And my dad, when I say party, it's like once they were gone or whatever, we used to hang out in the room, in his room. He had a lot of pills there. And I guess one day I accidentally took some thinking it was candy and stuff, and my father never hit us or anything, but I think I was ODing on it.
I remember hearing about that, but I don't remember when it happened.
I remember it. Because I remember so clearly, Pauline, when you and I were there, and nos cambiábamos de calzones. I go, ese es el que ya me gusta a mí, cabrón. No. Yep, at the time I got my way, you know what I mean? Do you remember that?
No, I remember wearing your underwear. I always would go to your house and put on a boy's underwear.
Yeah.
I don't remember the part where you would put on my underwear.
I would. I used to like the little picture ones, and they were girls. I also remember another thing when I used to go to school. I used to go with Puchu. It's a very good friend of mine. And when we were little kids, we used to take a shit together. I mean, like, we were little tiny kids. We shared the same toilet. There's a toilet, and a little ass here, and another little ass there, and hacer popó, cabrones. I remember that. That's, I call her Tia Chela, But when they used to have to go out, because most of the parents always went out. They always went out. Everybody went out there. It was their time. It was their gig. You know what I mean? And I used to go to that school, and then the bus used to pick us up. I would miss the bus on purpose. I would miss the bus on purpose, and then my Puchu's parents used to get ragged on. Pues como que no está Felipe? I don't remember what I used to do, but I used to miss the bus.
It was the one stop they made right in front of your...
I remember, and
you'd be like, my hair's not...
I remember the maids that was selling and Elvira. Those are the ones that actually really raised us, because my parents were always busy doing their gig, The last time I remember my Lulu was, my dad already had importaciones aras, and then we were not allowed to see her, but my dad used to give her monthly payments or whatever. And then one day, he was in Portaciones Sara, and then right across the street there's a restaurant called Cesar's. It was like a steakhouse there in Tijuana. And last time I saw your Mama Lulu, I didn't recognize her. And then, because my mom wasn't supposed to have me there anyways, Mama Lenny. And my Mama Lulu goes, "Yo soy tu mamá." And then I started crying. I go, "No, you're not. Who the hell are you?" And absolutely, I used to cry around the table just because I do remember Mama Lulu, you know, like.
When was the first time you remember coming to the States?
I remember moving into a big-ass house, and then the first thing I wanted to do was plug in the TV, and I wanted to watch El Llanero Solitario, and it wasn't on. I'd put on the same channel as in Mexico, and it did not happen. It was not working. So then from there, I go, well, damn, something's wrong. I used to wake up at the big house where my dad had the bar. Remember the bar? The bar was like the size of this house. And I used to cry. I remember I used to wake up in the mornings, 1, 2 o'clock or whatever, and I used to cry, Lulu. I remembered my mom. I went to Bonita Elementary first. But I remember when Ed went to the preschool, he used to cry every goddamn day, all right? He used to cry, because I would leave him. It was devastating. And then for me it was hard because I didn't know the language. I didn't know the English language like that, like the way, you know, I was always in English as a second language and stuff. So like when I used to have PE and stuff like that, instead of going to PE, where I used to go to elementary school, there was another school for the mentally retarded. So what I used to do was go help them out. I used to be, you know, an aide for them. And those kids loved me. They didn't laugh about me because I didn't know how to speak the language. God, I was real young, 9, 8. And then that's when I met the Carrillos that would live in front of us. Joey and Mr. and Mrs. Carrillo. The guys that used to live before there gave us Nappy. Remember the dog Nappy?
I gave you Nappy.
Huh?
I gave you Nappy. I gave Lenita Nappy, to be exact.
Okay, well, they gave us another dog. I remember something.
That's
like
possible, but not Nappy. I gave you Nappy.
And then the Carrillos moved in. That's when we started going, you know, we did variety shows. I did, it was a dancing show and all kinds of different things before I even got into the Jewish thing.
What way did your life change, do you think, when you came from Mexico to live in the United States?
Well, it's totally different. To me, it was rad in a way that here, you know, you had to you take showers. First of all, you had to go to school with boys and girls. Right, which is a total different thing. And then after PE or whatever, you took your shower. That was already in junior high. In elementary school, it was rad. You're still going to school with boys and girls. I remember my 4th grade teacher. His name was Mr. Banker, and God, he had a rowdy class. He had a rowdy class. His wife was a Japanese lady, and so like, you know, like for art session or whatever, you know, we had like a half an hour art session, and he used to show us how to draw in Japanese, you know, letters and like that. But sometimes we were so noisy. You know.
Did you enjoy elementary school?
I loved it.
Did
Then I had Miss Cioli. That was my 4th grade teacher. She was rad. She's the one that first showed me the guitars. I was the first one that brought the guitar to the house. And we did this great show, man. I had nice looking girlfriends at the time. At that age, I had one of them was Linda. I used to call her Linda Low Boobs because she had no boobs, kids. And then Brenda Big Boobs was the other one. And I used to be very good at playing dodgeball, and I was also the captain of a football team that we played in. I never played American football.
When did you discover that you liked sports?
When my father used to take me to the baseball games.
How old were you when you started going to baseball games?
Man, I must have been like 9 years old, 10 years old. And then like when my parents used to get in an argument or whatever, you know, like normal parents, my dad used to take me to watch the horses. He owned the Tijuana thing with some other people. He owned the Agua Caliente there. But he used to take me to Hollywood Park with all his Jewish friends. And he used to bribe me like Uncle Pepe did too. No vayas a decir nada. And he used to come back with losing tickets like that. No digas nada tu mamá, eh? No digo nada. I mean, everybody got like $2 allowance. I used to get 10. Shit, I kept my mouth shut right off the bat. That was a lot of money.
Just you were the only kid who went?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't he take Eddie?
He was too smart. Mocoso y muy chillón el cabrón.
Your dad liked you.
Yeah.
You were his favorite.
I loved them.
You guys had a really deep connection.
Yeah, he was rad with me. He was rad. He used to love it. I remember, I was older at the time. I remember he goes, ay, pues ya. I used to go with him, and Hollywood Park, Santa Anita, all the yuppie places, and you have to wear ties and he goes, oh, well, I can't dress you up like that. I'll say, well, he made me ditch school to go with him. And I go, fuck it, let's do it. I used to go and bet against them because, he used to study those things. I used to buy the racetracks for him stuff. So when I was there, and I learned a lot from him.
Do you know how to play the horses?
A little. I like numbers. Like on the sports things, I could tell you how much an athlete weighs, what they ate the night before, or, if it's going to do it or not do it. And I remember so much. He used to tell me, apóstale 100 a este. He used to take $1,000. There's 10 races, right? And he had the money, so it was $100 a bet, boom, boom, boom for him. And he used to give me $100, para comer or lo que sea. But with mine, I used to bet against him. So when my horse would come in, I'd have to quiet.
Why would you bet against him?
Because I go, no, va a entrar el 257. And he wanted the 752 or something like that, right? Because it was just, because I used to study it the way he did. Yeah, but I couldn't cheer when my horse came in. But he used to know, because I go, I got to go to the bet. And I go collect my bet. My $5 bet made me $50. And his $100 bet, well, he lost. So I just stay quiet on that one. But I do remember very clearly, one day he goes, ay, la chingada, pues ya, mis últimos $100, vamos a irle a estos caballos. And we had the same bet. I wasn't allowed to gamble because he used to get so pissed. Está apostando con mi dinero, que es una a la chingada. Yo sudé con todo mi corazón. Hasta I go, shit, Dad, you're teaching me how to do this. I love this. And one day we did, it was the last race, because we always used to leave after the last race to make it back home on time. Like if we just got back from work or whatever. And we would listen to it in the radio in the Cadillac. We always drove Cadillacs, even in Mexico. And ya le pegué. He used to whip a U-turn and go collect the money. Hell yes. And I go, well, let's do it, because you might not bring me back, and the tickets are only good for a certain amount of days. Yeah. Go. Me buen día hecho vino, papá, le pegué al mismo. Eso es un pendejo. ¿Cómo que apuestas con mi feria? Le dije, no, jefe, pues... But I won. Except yours is a $100 bet, mine's a $20 bet. I loved them. Last time, it was good. It was good. Yeah, and I
What? Tell me a story about your mom. When you were that age.
my mom was a beautiful lady. Is a beautiful lady. It must have been hard for her because she was young. My dad was always into the money shit. It was like, see that's one thing that I don't think I'm ever gonna have to suffer.
What?
The lifestyle that he had to live through.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, like going through Holocaust and this and his brothers being killed and his parents and stuff like that. Those are things that I don't think our family's not going to have to suffer. Even though right now we have wars right now like Iraq and stuff like that, but not, it's totally a total different thing, you know, and it's weird because, you know, my dad married Aunt Zenaida first, which was my mom's sister. And then he married my mom. Yeah, you know, when both of them hotties were young, he had the best of two mejores nalgas, pues a gusto. And both of them fell in love with him. I mean, you know, the guy had money. He was a nice looking man. Big, smart, a leader, bucks. Shit, if I would have been one of them, I would have stayed with him too.
I asked you to tell me a story about your mom. You never did.
Which mom? No,
Your mom?
I don't remember.
Lenny.
Beautiful lady. She did everything that was asked for her. I remember she used to tell me, this is your brother. You have to love him. That was Ed. And then after that, it was Lenny.
What was it like when Lenny came to live with you guys?
Well, she just dumped her in the... Oh, I was in love with Lenny. I remember, and she was a little terror. I remember, like, sometimes she needed a spanking, and you know, at that time I had my motorcycles, and my mom, we had my mom's station wagon. We used to throw the bikes in there and take them in to get them repaired or whatever. But my mom was nice. She didn't cheat on my dad while they were married or anything like that. And my dad didn't either. There was differences and shit, because, you know.
Why do you think it was hard for your mom? What was hard?
I don't know. I think she was just too young to put up with everything. Just me, Ed, Lanny, Caesar, Dad, the money and stuff. There's just, people don't get raised like that. See, like for me right now, it's very hard for me to be poor. I've never, I hate it. See, if I wouldn't have been, if I would have been taught to value the money more than, then it'd be a lot different. But I can't blame that on no one. It's just like when I do work for people and have $1 million homes, or even like with, my baby's parents and stuff like that. What they have to me, it doesn't open my eyes. Yes, they live in a nice house. Yes, they have this. No chingues, compa. Yo les digo, ta madre. That's great. All for you. At the house, we had a big house. I remember when we were young and you and Arna used to come back from TJ. You guys used to come back. Tú estabas en la casa grande también. I remember you guys used to come back and roll your joints and shit. I remember everything.
No. When was the first time you saw drugs?
I used to get burnt buying pot. They used to give me tea and shit like that.
When was the first time you saw drugs?
I don't know, in junior high.
Oh, it was, but your usage.
Not the house. I mean, my mom and dad never drank or anything like that. You see, Pauline, they didn't. I learned it from the gabachos here. Who was to hang in and be cool.
What was your understanding about why you didn't live with your biological mother?
I don't know. I was too young to know. I was too young to know. They didn't explain that to me until, until later. But my parents never told me why. Or why not.
What was it like when Caesar came to live with you guys?
The first time I ever saw Caesar was in a picture, and he was on a little horse. That's the truth. I remember that.
Who showed it to you, the picture?
My mom, Lenny.
And what did she say?
This is your other brother. I go, well, fuck it, how many do I have? Ah, damn. Well, bring him on down.
That's when he was already going to come?
Yeah. The only reason my dad couldn't give him his last name was because he was too old already.
Who was too old?
Max, Paul, Sr. At his age, he was too old to legally adopt him.
Who adopted him?
Well, he still has the same last name. Still has the Paul last name.
Somebody must have adopted. Oh, they must have just.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know.
Because see, like Ed and I have the same. When we moved down here, we have the same. Like the resident alien cards. It's 830 516 650, and his was 830 516 651. So they were numbered.
Right.
So Ed, now Ed's already a U.S. citizen, but I mean.
Do you have a birth certificate?
Yeah.
Who's listed as your parents?
Max Paul Schwarzenberg, Maria Magdalena Abreu. Those are my legal adopted parents. You could go to the courts and, well, Dad rigged all that stuff out. I don't know how they did it, but okay. Well, Caesar didn't have. I don't know how that worked though. I remember
70s. It was 70.
Yeah.
Okay.
My parents' house. It was rad. It was going to school, coming back. Then we had a substitute so they could teach us English. After that, as we started growing up, then we had a rabbi to come to the house. Max Fermanzio, yeah. All right? Vela, sopla la pinche vela. I hated the guy.
Why?
No, I didn't hate him. He used to walk in the house, and we always had Christmas.
Yeah.
So I used to tell the guy it was a Hanukkah bush. No te espantes, man. Mr. Fermanzio, He was a cantor. Era argentino, compa, and I remember he's the one that baptized me, dude.
Baptized me?
Pues ahí en el desmadre eso, en una de las albercas ahí.
No alberca.
It was in a jacuzzi there at the central.
I know, but it's not a jacuzzi either. It's a natural water. It's called a Mitzvah, and I don't know what it's called in Spanish.
Ahí todos los judíos jugaban póker y no sé qué en las noches. No. The only reason they respected us because at that time my dad was married to a goy, what you call a Catholic lady, right? But if you have money, then te lo perdonan. We would have been.
Well, that's why you had to convert, though, also, and go to the mikvah.
The reason I did it was because my dad never had a bar mitzvah, because I always used to ask him what a star meant. He always used to have a star hanging on it. It was a Star of David. And that's the way, so when I bar mitzvah, it was like he bar mitzvah too. Because he never bar mitzvah, he never had a chance to. It was just chance.
Did he ask you to have a bar mitzvah?
Yeah. I always used to ask him, ¿Qué es esto? What is this? Besides his nice watches, I knew what those were. I wanted that. Yeah.
So what did he tell you about the star?
Mis papás son israelíes y esto, y es lo que pasó, and we used to go to a lot of bar mitzvahs. I didn't know what they were. Fine. I did it. I cried and everything. It was rad.
What made you decide to have a bar mitzvah?
So he could have one. And he had it with me. We both read the Torah and stuff. And he didn't know how to read. He knew how to read Yiddish, but not Hebrew. We did it Castellano style. Well, I remember perfectly, believe you me. From English to Spanish to Hebrew. I gotta take a time out and take a pee. Oh, I remember it. I remember when all the little kids, when we lived in that big house, they all used to like to be in my goddamn room. Damn! And they had 8 rooms in there. I don't know. Everybody. I remember Paul, and even when they were fixing the rugs, Paul used to tippy-toe in there, because there was a couple of times he thumped his feet with the little nails there. I don't know if you know what I mean. It was like, they were lifting the rugs. I go, Paul, no. Ya empezaba a llorar. And then he used to sleep with me and put his finger in my ear. God, I hated that. Huh? Love, I cannot forget that. When I played Little League, I was a sure strikeout. A sure strikeout, but I was the best fielder they had. Everybody on the team, when I played Little League, well, actually first, I didn't go to my tryouts because I don't know why I didn't make it. Because I guess my dad didn't take me, my mom didn't take me. I don't know what happened, but I didn't go to tryouts. So after tryouts, you already signed up or whatever, so you ended up in Cap League. Cap League was like the lowest of the lowest. And I kicked butt in Cap League. These were all a bunch of little kids. I mean, when I say little kids, it's like if you're 10 and you're playing with 8 years old, you don't want to be, I was really good there. So then, instead of going to minor league, then I went to major league. And then in the major league, I was the king strikeout guy because those guys were just too, now I was playing against 14-year-olds and I was only 12. But I was a great outfielder. We won our championship. Everybody got batting things, but I got a gold glove. A little trophy with a gold glove. No, God, I saved that for such a long time, but I was good. I was good at that. I remember I played the center field position, and I stole the home run from one of the batters, and everybody cheered. Yeah, I still love it. To the day, I haven't played, but when I lived in Puerto Vallarta, I made a team down there, and very crappy batter. They could strike me out with a curveball and stuff like that, but I was always a great fielder. And I made the all-star team there. This was playing in Mexico. When I played in Mexico, when I came back, then I in Puerto Vallarta. Here in the United States, yeah, I did. I was good. I was good at it.
I remember we were sitting with the coaches, and a ball was hit. The minute that ball connected with the bat, your eyes were on it and your body was moving. All the other kids were standing still watching the ball over their head. You were the only kid moving constantly towards the ball, and that's when every single one of the coaches started writing your name.
See, the funny thing is, I've always been a good outfielder. Even now that I'm 43 years old, last time I played here, now that I live here in the desert, I played softball, and I played for the Walmart team. I was the starting center fielder, and then after I dumped them, because they didn't want to continue with the team, then I played with the firemen, and those guys were good. No, because I wanted to keep on playing. See, in order to play, you have to pay money and stuff like that. And these guys didn't want to play no more, and so they needed an alternate because one of the guys had gotten hurt, and they picked me to go do it. And I was good. I was still good. I haven't done that. See, maybe if I do things like that, I'd have my mind off with just partying, which I love to do.
It's a passion that you've had since you were a kid.
I love it. Like I was telling you, when I lived in Puerto Vallarta, I made my own team there with bunch of kids. I bought them uniforms, bought them bats, balls, everything. And a lot of those kids, some of them are real good. Really, really good. I told them, I go, man, I could bring you to the United States, you get a scholarship for playing. And they just don't want to leave the town. There was this one guy, he played shortstop, pitcher. That guy must throw like 85 to 90 miles an hour. Big, tall, healthy fisherman kid. He just doesn't want to leave the town. And he could probably even go pro here.
So you were describing an average day. You get up. This is when you're like between 8 and 12, still in elementary school.
I used to get up, go to, used to take the bus. My mom used to take us to the bus. The bus used to take us to school. And I used to at that time, I was always liking sports. I was one of the best dodgeball players. I hated basketball, but sometimes you had to play it. I didn't like it that much. I used to like to run. The white guys always used to kick my butt. They were faster. There wasn't that many African Americans that I went to because it was just basically like a yuppie white school, even here in the United States.
Tell me about family vacations.
Family vacations were always rad. I always used to fight with my little brother, Max. I remember one vacation that we went to Hawaii. No, Florida. It was Florida. Lenny wasn't in molding yet. How could I explain that? It was Max the second, Max the first, my dad, and my mom. And Ed and I used to always fight. And then one day I kicked his ass over there. I don't know what he did to me. I kicked his butt.
Your dad hated it when you guys hit each other.
Yeah, oh my God. What does it say? De manos son juegos de villanos. He always used to pull out his belt, but he never hit us. Never. The only time my old man ever hit me was when the day we were playing hide and go seek at the big house, and the only place he didn't want us to ever be was in his bathroom because of all his medications, and that's where I hid. And I must have been like 11 or 12. He didn't hit me, it was just I did a little cabrón. No, he wasn't pissed. He had put you and I.
Who was the disciplinarian in your household? Who decided how things went?
My father.
What was the role of your mom?
Well, my mom, what disciplinary was, well, my mom was a disciplinary, you put it that way. The role of my mom was hard, Florine. Take
Why
us
do
to
you always
school,
say that?
because it was hard for her. Take us to school, pick us up, if we're sick, and this and that. My dad had, his thing was take care of his business. He was always at work. Work. I remember he goes, oh, vamos a trabajar. I hated it. And then when he used to blow me off, because I wanted to work the way he worked. You know,
big
in the office and go make bets, you know, because you own the bookie downstairs. And I'm like, shit, man, I'll stay with you all as long until one day he had one of his employees, which is a very good friend, Mr. Rafael Slovatinsky, which I do love very much. And he said, okay, ya me voy. And he snuck through the back. So, you know, 5 o'clock came around and Dad wasn't there. I got so pissed off, so what I did was I ended up getting some suits and some shoes, and that then became my
Thomas.
the worst time of my life was when I became a cocaine addict. That must have been in my early 20s. I was still living in California in the big house. The thing is, when I was on that stuff, everybody was wrong and I was right. I lost my best girlfriend, was Mariela. I lost everything. My money, todo. I didn't care. I'm lucky I'm alive.
How long did that episode last?
A long time. I was going to go into a rehab center, and then that's when we decided to move to Puerto Vallarta. My parents had already been divorced and stuff at the time.
Did you start using cocaine before the divorce?
While there were things that were going wrong in the house.
While your dad was still living in the house?
Yeah.
Were you using cocaine?
Oh, heavily. I used to smoke it.
Not when your dad lived in the house, Bill?
Oh, well, I used to do everything. And I got out of control, and I had access to everything, so I didn't give a shit. I wouldn't come home for 3-5 days. No biggie. I'm not lying about it, it's the truth. Oh, shit. I knew I was out of control right off the bat. I just didn't give a crap anymore. I knew, yeah. I know my parents are going to be together. This is going to suck. It's fucking... It was hard for me. It was just hard. It was hard. Not to see them together after so many years of marriage and stuff like that. I go, oh my God, it's like... I always thought we were like the Brady Bunch. Everybody's so fucking rad, you know what I mean? No, it's not. Life is rad. It's rough. It's rough. When I moved to Puerto Vallarta, I went through some rude withdrawals. That's how I got into playing softball and stuff. I mean, baseball over there. Keeping your mind away, because over there, people, you know, I lived in a pueblo. Only the really, yeah, you could get whatever you want to do, you could get anywhere. You just keep your mind off it, do this, do that.
Did you do it? You tried to get yourself clean? In other words, you...
No, when I was on that set.
When you moved to Puerto Vallarta?
When I moved to Puerto Vallarta, I had no other choice.
You're going to tell me there's no cocaine in Puerto Vallarta?
Well, yeah, there is, but you don't know the connects or anything like that. No, I went through my killer withdrawals. And I'm not a hypocrite. En vez, a veces, me chingo un pase si hay si no, ¿sí me entiendes? Pero no, I don't need it.
Were you addicted?
Oh, absolutely. Now I'm an alcoholic.
How bit of a cocaine addict were you?
Oh, about very big. I used to buy it by the kilos. I used to pay 20 grand for it. And have some guy deal it for me. And whenever I wanted some, I got it. You know, the guy was my dealer. Until he got busted, and the shit really came down, and you know, fuck, I ain't gonna do 10 years in jail.
Is that when you decided to quit?
Well, no, when I thought I was dying. You see, Pauline.
You thought you were dying?
Yes, man, I weighed like 112 pounds.
And why didn't you die?
Because I didn't want to. I just say, until I ran out of money and everything. Even my buddies said, no, ya no te vamos a dar, cabrón, ve cómo andas. And it was my shit anyways. So they had to give it. Well, that's the truth. You're listening to the truth, huh? I mean, it's nothing to brag about. Well, nothing to brag about. It's sad, but shit, there's other people that have that type of experiences, and I can't talk about it, you know? But overall, I'd like to sign off with this. God bless you all. And I love you.
I'm having
Thank you.
an interview with Philip.
I already quit it. I already signed off. Listen to the sign off.
I'm not done. What happened to Lulu?
Lulu, man, you could ask that to any of the other.
I know. What do you think happened?
She just disappeared. I don't know what happened to her. All I know is that when she wasn't receiving her monthly payments, according to what I understand, people started looking for her. Judiciales, everybody, the police, todos. When she was missing, you know, I think my father and the family members had people looking for her. Even Uncle Joaquin, let him rest in peace. A lot of people. I mean,
Yeah.
it's your answer. I could ask you the same. I know it's my interview, but I mean, what happened to her? We don't know. See, there's not a tomb. Okay, she passed away or whatever. You know, like my brother Jaime passed away. It's another person I love very much, and my sister Sonia and my sister Celia, whatever. But Jaime, at least we know he passed away, and his ashes or whatever. But we know what happened to him. That's what, you know. Mama Lulu, I can't answer that question.
You do know that that's not the first person that's happened to in our family.
I don't know that.
Our mothers had a sister named Lupe.
Yeah, that's Uncle Pepe's mom.
Right, who disappeared. Just poof, I disappeared. Just like Lulu.
Mm-hmm. Like a fart in the wind, I guess, huh? I mean, I'm not laughing or nothing.
Yeah?
That's the reason why they won't let us go out. You know, when let Pepe and Ana go out. Because they're cousins. I mean, you know what I mean? Some, it's like, they're incest.
But you know, they didn't meet each other. It's like you and I, but we've known each other since we were kids.
Yes, but if we never met each other and stuff, and we fell in love and everything, yeah. But see, my dad knew it, and your family knew it. That's why, so I always used to ask my dad, what's the big deal? But he never let me know. Until the one that let me know was actually Uncle Pepe. He goes, well, see, look, this is the way it works.
Really?
Tia Lupita, because I used to ask Uncle Pepe, because I used to always ask him, him and the whole family, even Uncle Chico and everything. Well, Jesus Christ, you guys are the brothers and older than me or whatever, or even your mom, or Tia Zenaida. I go, ¿qué le pasó a la tía Lulu? How could you not know what happens to one of your brothers? I mean, with
So imagine if it was Eddie.
the way, ay, pues no mames. I would find out, okay, o lo mataron por malandrín, o lo mataron por eso. Let me go pick up his remains. Done.
Yeah.
So you can bury him, burn him, whatever you guys want to do with him, so we know, have a little ceremony for him. See, that question you asked me, Pauline, with all due respect, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Okay? And I'll ask you, I'll ask Lucy, I'll ask Pepe, I'll ask anybody that, Marta, la amiga de mi tía Fina, your mom.
But when you lived in Guadalajara,
I don't remember that.
when you lived in Guadalajara as an adult,
Uh-huh.
did you ever talk to friends of Lulu's?
Mm-mm.
Bache?
Bache, sí, cómo no.
Oh, well, that
Él no sabe nada tampoco.
really?
When I live in Guadalajara, I live with tía Zenaida. She took me to the barrio. Ah, y she dice, mira, aquí era donde tú naciste, cuando tu mamá era piruja. Algo pues, como si todas ustedes eran angelitas. No, my ass. Pues en eso chambeaban todas, every single one of them. I mean, I'm not being rude with them, all right? And it's, pues cada quien su, like big fat ass, we're alive.
How did you know that?
Aunt Zenaida would tell me, and my dad used to tell me, ¿sabes cómo conocía a esas pendejas? En unos bules. I couldn't answer my name. ¿Qué chingada me hubieras invitado a mí? ¿No? You know what I mean?
Well, your dad told you.
But if I lie in the mean way, I mean, it's like, I get the truth.
No, and especially when things got ugly, it was not. It wasn't,
It wasn't things that made me feel that comfortable.
Well, no, that's your mom. Both of them.
So I go, well, Jesus
It's my
Christ.
mom too.
So that means you went through the whole Abreu family. Damn, that's good. I love you, Pauline. I'm signing off now.
No, you're not. Not
Yeah.
quite yet.
No,
Not
you're
yet.
not.
You're almost done. You're almost done. You're almost done. Tell me what you think is the saddest part about our family.
The saddest part about our family, I think we should just all get along and just love each other. That's the saddest part of the way. Well, no, we all criticize, no, que esto, que Felipe, que esto, que wow, que Pauline le
That's true.
gusta a las viejas, que Felipe le gusta el alcohol, que este es puto, que este es un pendejo. Who the fuck cares? We're all family, we're all blood. That's,
What do you think is the hardest part about being in our family?
I don't know. The hardest part would be not to have a family, period. Then that would be hard. Like if I would take it on my behalf, like if, God forbid or whatever, like if all of my family members would not exist anymore, then I'd be really eating shit. You know what I mean? I mean,
I can't imagine that.
It doesn't matter if you have all the money in the world. I mean, God, you're ream.
Yeah.
I go, my God, fuck. Even at my tender age of 43, I go, God, thank God I have a kid. Even though my relationship ain't all that hot. Well, that one. I think I have another girl that I made in Puerto Vallarta.
That's what I thought.
I'm pretty sure it's mine too.
Are you? Do you ever meet your father?
No. Uncle Pepe wanted to take me one day and I refused.
Why?
I was just,
Scared?
yeah,
Were you a grown man?
yeah, it was, but I go, well, shit, man, to me, I felt that he left me as a bastard, and to me, my only father is Max Paul. Let's,
I met your father several times when you were very little, because when Eddie was born and your little
does Ed have the same band?
No,
No.
no. Oh my God, he was such a handsome
You
man.
know who told me he passed away? It was Ana Rosa's mom. Choroca se llamaba el boy.
You should meet your sisters.
I would love to.
Oh, why didn't you? When you were in Guadalajara, you could have.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Ay, pues ya que les voy a decir, ahora mira, yo soy el otro que cogió tu papá.
Find out about your family. Find out about what.
Well, even if I never see Savannah for the rest of my life, obviously, well, I'm not going to be like that. I won't. Because I call her every day. No. See, when I see him, I'm never drunk. My personal life, my personal life. They keep their
No,
own.
she is your personal life now. You remember how important your dad was?
Yeah.
Then be that important to her, too.
Well, she's only a year, right? She's going to know that. Y su vieja lo sabe también, su mamá. No suena hace mucho de pedo. Oh, yeah, I love my kid. Man, that's all I ever wanted, to have a kid. And have to fight with these rich assholes to get her back. Like, fuck that. You
That's
know,
all you ever wanted, to have a kid?
yeah. You know, my mom got the bowl of cherries either. I mean, I love both of them, Pauline. I fell in love with the wrong person. You know what I mean?
You remember how solid your dad was? That's one thing that he taught you. And he could be an asshole, maybe. But
Yeah,
you know
he
what?
was. Oh, yeah, he was. You're right. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
You could count on one thing, and that was trying to do the right thing.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad I was lucky.
You were. You guys had an example of a father that nobody else had. Nobody else had.
That's right. And he had good kids, too. We were good kids to him.
You were great kids to him. You gave him what he
those
never
are
thought
things
he'd
that
have.
those are things that people have all the money in the world and just can't have it. Yeah, we were good. Yeah, I mean, I know. I love him, too. I'm still alive. I'm signing off. Take care. I love you guys. That's Tuba.